Hey everyone, it's Ulister here again, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VIII. When last we left off, Squall had successfully navigated the fire caverns and had acquired the low-level GF, which Ifrit's pissed about, called Ifrit, funnily enough. And now, we are on our way to the field exam, to find out if Squall is actually going to be made into a seed. I should point out, for those of you who don't know, I don't mean he's going to become like an item of plantery. That would just be silly, no. Seed is what these mercenaries are called. Is the simplest way of putting it. And right here we're going to be learning who else is going to be in our squad of 3. First up is Zell, who is extremely fond of his backflips, even though he only does it once in the entire game. And he just loves hot dogs, which you only find out at the very end of the game. Other than that, he's just your standard student who just likes showing off, really. Observe. And that's his one backflip. Oh yeah, he's got a Mike Tyson tattoo as well on his face. Just in case you didn't spot that. Naturally, of course, Squall is unimpressed. And yes, I know Zell's limit is kind of similar to Squall's, in the sense that you can change it on the status screen. Actually, I haven't shown you that yet, have I? Once this is all done, just remind me or something, and I'll explain to you how to change Squall's and Zell's limits. No, you know Cypher doesn't think so. Yeah, just ignore the guy who's bearing down on you with his sword and slices your face. That's a good idea. But anyway, revelation time. The person they're talking about, turns out he's their squad leader, so they kind of have to answer to him for this mission, which isn't really taken advantage of as much as it could be. But never mind. And the music cuts out. I kind of feel like they should have put something dramatic in there. Like as he was walking up with Raijin and Fujin. Would have been so much better. Burn incoming in 3. Naturally, that's annoyed him slightly, and he tells Raijin and Fujin to put her name on the list. Which I can only assume to be some kind of, list of offenders or something that they have to deal with later. The thing is, the list is never really mentioned again throughout the game. I know it's only a small thing, but if you're going to reference something like that, you'd think that they'd make a thing of it later. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. That's not what everyone else thinks teamwork is, but okay, we'll just go with that. The thing is, you kind of have to go along with it because he's the squad leader, so you've got no choice in the matter. And here comes Cid, the headmaster of the garden. Also, once he's finished his speech here, it shows another example of the problems that come with, I was mentioning earlier in the classroom with those students who were clearly part of the background. You're gonna get another case of that once this is all done with. And it is Cid himself. He looks so out of place against the directory. He's kind of just given him a speech, really, about how this is a deadly mission, because there is a chance of death. Although it's fine, because he lets them know that if they screw up, it will get taken care of by the pros. Yeah, one less worry. Don't worry guys, if we die, it's fine. The actual seeds will come in and do what we failed to do. Don't worry about it, it's cool. And in case you're wondering, Quistis is actually a seed member. So she's one of the ones who'll just go in and mop things up if things all go south in the end. They don't, of course, because otherwise this would be a really short game. And there we go. See how pixelated Sid is there? Looks really odd, doesn't it? Like, really odd. I mean, Quistis is like... all perfectly sort of modelled and everything else. And then Sid's like... Pixel World. Really bizarre. Anyway, for some reason everyone heads south, even though we all know that the car thing is to the right. But somehow they get there before us. I don't know how this garden works. I really don't. It's like they're ignoring their own architecture, their own geography. This is the world's worst car as well, by the way. It looks kind of like some kind of messed up Tonka truck. In a minute, Squall's gonna slice Zell's head off, by the way, if he asks one more time. I don't get why Zell is so eager to see Squall's gunblade. I mean, it's just basically a sword glued to a gun. That's basically it. I'm pretty sure he can use his imagination to determine what it looks like. Oh, knock it off, Quistis. It's getting old now. Stop picking on the guy. I have no idea why Zell has his eyes closed right here. In fact, they all do. Maybe they're trying to get getting a quick nap before the mission. Or something, I don't know. And that has to be the insult of the year. Seriously, if Zell has issues with being called a chicken wuss, he's not going to get through school. He really isn't. Oh, now his eyes are open. God, this is the most awkward ride ever. Also, hang on. I just thought of something. When they got into the car back at the garden, it looked kind of small, right? Like, one of them would have to drive it. So how in the world is it actually big enough for them to stand up in? How have I only just noticed that after playing this game a couple times? Seriously. Pocket dimensions. Everywhere. Right, now here's the part where I forget which button does what. 2, 3... Okay, that's fair enough. To explain to you guys, button 2 is circle, button 3 is X, and button 4 is square. Triangle would be button 1. And button 6 is... not that. You know what? Not relevant. Let's go. Let's head to the town. This is actually Zell's hometown, by the way. We can go up and talk to his mother now, but no. For two reasons. One, you are already on the mission, and you're not really supposed to anyone who's not in your squad, because you lose points for that. And two, there's just no point doing it anyway because, well, Zell isn't going to be with you. I mean, yeah, he's here now, but those two run off and you can control Squall and go back up into town if you wanted. Like so. Now, although you can't talk to anyone without incurring the wrath of, demotion or things like that, you can go to the draw point, which is just over here. And get some more thunders, because we're going to need those later. Did I say 15? I wasn't paying attention. Anyway. Now that that's done, we can head back down and actually get on with the mission. Because that's what's important in life right now. Why Cypher is allowed to wear his regular clothes, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's the squad leader or something. He's the squad captain. Maybe he gets special privileges. Or maybe it's because everyone else just got tired of his bullshit and lets him do whatever. Oh, far too many to count. Yeah, that's why you keep failing, because you just love them so much. Not at all because you suck. I'm gonna skip through these a bit slower than usual so you guys can read them all. Because it's actually quite important to the story. Well, this mission at least, anyway. Although, you know how, like, they were saying this is the, excuse me. This was the, Seed field exam. I get the impression that they're not exactly planned massively in advance. Because if you see it on the screen now, it says, a request for Seed was made 18 hours ago. So 18 hours ago, it was decided that this was going to be the field exam. So, yeah, I don't get that. Maybe they just sit around and wait for some kind of global political issue to come up. Before they go, hey, this would be a great time to test all of our candidates for Seed. It just seems a bit odd to me. Our mission is to kill everyone. That's the short version. The long version is quite a bit more boring. Notice how Zoo does all of this with her eyes closed. That's dedication right there. Or maybe she's just done this so many damn times because I keep restarting it that she doesn't need to look at the screen anymore. That's a good question, Cypher. Although I'm pretty sure it was explained in the briefing a second ago. How does eliminating soldiers sound boring? Well, it seems simple enough. Get into the city, clear out all the soldiers, and just chill. Can't really argue with that. Okay, from here, if you talk to Cypher, then this journey ends instantly. It goes on to the next screen. Cypher tells you to go outside. Well, orders you, practically. And you go on from there. I don't need to have it explained again. Oh no, you talk to Zell, don't you? Not Cypher. Well, I just screwed that up. Cypher doesn't say much anyway. You're not missing out on anything. Now, you can turn down this request, but he just makes you go out anyway. Plus, he's your captain, so you kind of have to go along with it. Despite what kind of rage you may feel, you may be feeling inside. Ah, so tranquil, calm and serene. It's not gonna last long, because a battle is incoming. I don't know what kind of plan that is, but it basically boils down to land here, do stuff, I'm guessing. I'd hate to put in the insurance claim for that. I'd also like to point out that that was the boat that was carrying Squad B. They just ran through a wall. That could have gone so much worse. Like, they could have just crashed right there and ended things. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Questus. Okay, you move, we'll follow in a bit. Okay, so first, did I take... No, I didn't. So I need to remove both of those from Questus. Then I can give Ifrit to Zell, and then get his stuff sorted out. Magic, yeah, sure. Because again, still, there's no point using items right now because we don't have enough to actually make it worthwhile. And then with Cypher, we can use Quez, Magic, GF, and draw, and then we can just go from here. Now, this entire mission is basically going to be scored. You're going to get graded on it, essentially. And depending on how you do, you're going to end up getting a higher or lower seed rank, depending on if you do good or bad things. Like I mentioned before, if you talk to anyone outside of your squad, you lose points, because you're not supposed to do that. You would have got a bonus 100 points for beating Ifrit with 7 seconds left on the clock, which I failed to do. And there's a few more things around here that you get points for, which I'll explain as we go along. Now, this is one of those points in the game. In fact, it's the first point in the game where I'd recommend, highly recommend, that you spend some time and just draw magic from these guys. Because I don't know if you saw the kind of magic they have, but they're very useful, and they also have cure. So the chances of you dying in this fight are next to 0. In fact, it is 0. There is no way on earth you should die in this fight. Because, as I've said before, they never run out of magic, so you can just keep drawing it until the cows come home, or whatever animal you prefer. And if you want to, max them all out. Get 99 for every character. And if you're worried about the fact that Cypher's not going to be around for much longer, like I've already said, don't worry, because everything he gets instantly transfers to the next character that you acquire. So you're not losing anything. So you may as well just go for it. I forget how many rounds of fire I've done now. Let's do one more. And then we'll just go down the list. One at a time. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been about 10 minutes since I last saw you guys, and I've just been drawing this entire time. Which is why I chose not to show everything, because that would just be extremely boring. Plus, there's no way in hell I'd think of things to say over 10 minutes of just up, draw, G-Army, magic, draw, etc, etc. But there is one thing I wanted to show you before I forgot, and while I had the chance, and it is Cypher's Limit. Because this mission is the only chance you get to use it. And Cypher is kind of unique in this sense, because whereas with all the other player characters, Squall, Zell, Selphie, Quistis, etc, etc, their health has to be down in the in yellow. Their name turns yellow when you can use that limit breaks. But Cypher, his health doesn't need to be as low as that. Like, you can use it at this stage. And let me just get these other two drawing more stuff. Then I just keep pressing triangle on Cypher, and eventually it comes up. When that arrow appears, you can press right. This is applicable to all characters. Press right, and then you can choose their limits. In Cypher's case, it's called... well, actually, it's Fire Cross, and this particular move is called No Mercy. And it attacks everyone in front of you. And this is what it looks like. He burns them, and then slices them good. With a shiny sword. It's pretty nifty, actually. It does genuinely look better than Squall's one.